Hello my friends, welcome to another episode of Diablo 4. My name is Wilfred. Seems that the topic of patch 1.1.0a is quite a popular topic among the YouTuber or streamer because that is the patch before the new season 1 starting very soon as we speak. Now suffice to say there has been a lot of unhappiness around the patch itself, and I think I can understand why, because a lot of people has been quite invested in the end game of Diablo 4, the pre-season, and has invested a lot of effort in farming all the gear and so on. So any balancing act or change in direction on the game, probably they get impacted the most. Now, as a casual player, I spent a lot of hours playing Diablo 4, but in my own pace. Started off with World Tier 2 instead of 1. Didn't quite understand the whole capstone kind of like dungeons until very late, and I kind of overstayed some of this like World Tier. But anyway, I mean, I've been learning and doing side quests, not having the most optimal way of playing, and back then Druid was pretty rough as well. Everybody says Sorcerer was the best class to play. Look how far we have come. But anyway, I've been playing solo, so a lot of those patch notes kind of like stuff doesn't really hit me that badly. I'm below 80, so again, all this balancing act doesn't go. I mean, they don't hit me badly because I'm going to play a seasoned character as I always do playing this kind of game. So I never quite pay too much attention to my non-seasoned character. It's more for me to just experiment or test some of the patch notes. But my focus is always on the season, and I've always been playing to that particular season kind of like a balancing or mechanism, because at the end of the day, after the season ends, I don't really think about that character anymore. I move on to the next character and look for the new meta, right? Or any new kind of like balance. So it doesn't really impact me that much either. I don't play with high power friends for power leveling and so on. So some of these notes doesn't really hit me as bad either. And I don't have BIS gear, as you probably have noticed right now. So I'm playing very casually. These patch notes, I have something that I look forward to as well. I found that something really positive from this patch notes. Something about the nerf and so on would make me rethink how I should build my character, pay more attention to certain things and so on. The game is still going to be as slow as ever, so it's not going to address my own concern from this patch. So it's not really a great patch for me. Maybe the dams are all in not in inventory, but in some kind of crafting window would have been my wish. Or the mount is more it's always at max speed, maybe no longer requires spurring, those type of thing would have been my thought. Maybe just a bit faster gameplay. Some of this annoying mission is gone would be my wish, but none of them actually materialize. So the patch notes are just, to me, just minor tweaks and as well as bug fixes. So I don't necessarily feel anything towards the patch notes. In any case, I think I kind of look forward to the new season and sort of like and to see how far my druid can go. That is from my thought. And the backdrop of this video is after the patch has been live, then I've done some nightmare dungeons with my druid. Interestingly, I don't feel any difference at all. Like I said, I mean, I'm not restacking on some kind of like vulnerability or some kind of crit hit damage kind of stat. So I don't really use any of those like big number. So I play just normally. So as a normal person playing this new patch, I don't really see anything. If anything, I think is probably better. I feel a little bit stronger in some strange sense, if it makes sense to you, because I look at my unique gear. They retrospectively added one more rank to my werebear kind of like stat. So I mean, in a strange way, I feel stronger. And also, there's some annoyance in the nightmare dungeon has been eliminated or reduced as well. So I'm going to go through the patch notes a little bit and also share with you my thoughts on the patch notes, if I may, because a lot of people are doing it. So why not? There are 6 new uniques are being added. Let's not talk about the unicorn one, which is a staff. Not every class can use a staff, so it's an interesting choice of unicorn unique or uber unique for people to chase after. But I mean, the unit sounds pretty cool. You can kind of have a random shrine every don't know how many seconds after killing an elite enemy. So I think it'll be quite cool if I have it. If you have back-to-back kind of like conduit, it'd be, whoa, that's quite a OP kind of like item. That's why they call it Uber or the unicorn. I call it unicorn unique because face it, I think majority of us won't even get to see it. We just see it on Reddit or anywhere else but in the game. The druid one actually is quite interesting. I call it quite interesting, but it's not really game changing in a sense. So when I do blood hell a lot, I can also do the raw, and if it does a little bit of damage, why not? But of course that comes with the sacrifice of certain things that you don't do. So I don't know whether at the end of the day I will really use it for my end game, or just use it when I'm just in between some unique items that I don't have. I would thought that the necromancer one is quite good, though, although I haven't really played or looked too much into necromancer. It's always my favorite class. It does look very interesting to have bone storm being kind of like spawn when enemy is being hit outside the bone storm, so you can potentially have a few bone storms spawn here and there. Could be quite interesting. The wizard, though, I'm not going to comment on that. It's kind of funny. I watch a lot of video on the not wizard, sorcerer. Oh, come on, this is Diablo 4. How the sorcerer is being kind of nerf and have unique. That's not that interesting. I saw some video clip that they got teleported in between some ground and just disappear and vanish. So yeah, that's interesting. But no comments for the sorcerer one. I think the rest of the ones are pretty alright as well. For the barbarian as well as rook, I mean, it looks pretty alright. Especially barbarian can freeze. I think freeze target, because they kind of nerf the crowd control fix a little bit, because that's quite easy to achieve. But things that freeze require a little bit more setup or effort, or stun for that matter. So they kind of up the freeze. So maybe barbarian is kind of nice to have that weapon as well. From what I see, rook has to kind of shoot from behind for the shot. So a little bit of gameplay kind of like thing that I always find it quite interesting, right? Because you have to position yourself to do things. Of the 7 new legendary aspect, the druid is having one that kind of like interact the poison with the earth, and or landslide if you want to do landslide thing. So if you do a tremble kind of landslide thing, then this thing will also interact with your creeper or poison. And it buffs the earth damage as well, so could be interesting. I heard that I read that the landslide is one of the highest kind of like core damage output. So I don't know, could be interesting. I was thinking of Tremble as a movement build. I always like movement build ever since Marvel Heroes days. Character kind of like jump a lot here and there, so could be quite interesting. There are other 2 general aspects as well. I think it's going to be the mobility one is kind of interesting. When you slow a target, you gain some kind of speed, because I find that this game is really slow, or maybe we haven't really unlocked the potential of doing things a little bit faster, or I haven't unlocked that kind of potential. So the mobility one could be quite interesting. Not really into that utility one, which is kind of stun if you're a group of enemy kind of like thing. So, and at first I thought, well, you can't proc it more than every 20 seconds. It's a long time. But then you look at Diablo 4, such a slow game, maybe 20 seconds is just nice for another pack to come and visit you. So I don't know if I have it, and I have no other choices. Of course I'll do that, but I may not be using that as my main kind of end game aspect. But nevertheless, new aspect can play along with that, experiment the build as well. Now there's also a very long list of fixes and so on. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm not using any kind of like broken build, so again, no impact to me. it's always nice that they fix some of these issues. Some of them I kind of like saw it coming as well, like the stone carving, they can carry, like there are two of them, so what's the point? So some of these they kind of fix it, so I think that's good. Nothing game changing now, but there are 3 changes. The 3 of them I really like, because those 3 things annoy the heck out of me, right? So the first one is the fix an issue where monster with cold, bleeding, burning, or corruption affixed would freeze player in one hit in a nightmare dungeon with a cold enchanted affix. I find it super annoying to get like so many stuns in the dungeon before, in a nightmare dungeon. I've tested it after the patch, and it's a lot more pleasant. I don't get frozen that often. If at all. That's really cool, because otherwise it's just very disruptive. Sometimes as a melee character, I've got no choice but getting hit with something that can't freeze me. That's annoying. And another one is that fix an issue where cold enchanted monsters freeze player more often than intended in higher world tiers. So again, I mean, that was my main annoyance with the game. I just so kind of like annoyed by all the stuns, and there's just so many freezes. So whenever I see a cold enchanted affixes in that dungeon, I can't avoid it. I say, nah, I'm not gonna do it, because it's so hard. You get frozen 1, 2, 3, then you're dead, right? And the other one that I really like, really like, is that we have generally reduced the kind of tendency for many monsters to move around in combat, so that melee characters don't have to chase down enemies so much. And I think it's really good. I think I streamed this game for quite some time, and one of my biggest complaints is just that I have to keep chasing monsters. It's really no fun to chase kind of like monster as a melee, when the banshee or whatever, they keep going away or teleporting everywhere, and I just keep chasing stuff. So yeah, I think these 3 changes, I kind of like it a lot on this. I mean, this is a quality of life to me personally, playing a melee druid. A couple other things that I think we all know about the outer, as well as the map discovery, are going to be account wide, also bring to us the season. So I think that's a very welcome change. I mean, if you were to ask me to do the outer again, man, I mean, I think one time is enough. I think I did it because of I'm being obsessive compulsive kind of nature of me, or tendency, that I want to just unlock everything for the fixes as well, for the kind of like attribute as well. I hope the attribute will carry along though. Yeah, that's the thing. They're buffing the silent chests. So silent chests are those that chests are being locked, and you have to buy a key from the oval kind of like vendor to get a key. They are significantly buffing it, which I think is a high time, because I opened a few of them and said, I found a chest, I bought a key, and I opened it, it's just some crap inside. What's the point of even using it? So yeah, I think that is good. The renounced value are being increased for the side quest from 20 to 30, dungeon from 30 to 40. So I think it's welcoming change, so you don't have to do that many side quests, that many dungeons to unlock the 4th rank, which I think have the four Paragon points, right? As well as some other kind of like a perk as well. So you don't need to, you can earn those skill points faster as well. So I think it's a welcoming change. I think previously you probably have to do, because because you don't have a main story anymore. And well, okay, that doesn't really matter. But previously you do have to do quite a number of side quests as well as dungeons in order to unlock the 4th tier or the last tier. So that is a welcoming change. I think I've seen enough already. The whole renown thing is just like and I will go for those side quests that lead me to a dungeon. There are guys in Reddit as well, you can search for it. They give you an they give you a map of all the quests that lead to a side mission. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a checklist for myself. Just keep ticking all the side quests that lead me to dungeon, because you earn both the side quests as well as the dungeon at the same time. Is 70 renown, which is quite a fair bit. You don't have to do it, but yeah, I mean, looking back, I really shouldn't have played the main quest alongside with the side quest, because at the end of the day I have to do side quests like for many years. I may not even get to do the main quest, so that is a pity, because I think the main quest is a lot more interesting than the side quest, although the side quests are good as well, giving you the flavor of what's around the main storyline of Diablo 4. Anyway, finally World Tier 2 is going to increase the golden items buff there, so that I think that's welcoming, because before that there's really no incentive to do World Tier 2 except to be to feel a little bit like, you know, more challenged, that's all. But the XP is going to be the same, so I would skip the World Tier 2 probably, unless I've got such a good set of gear before I hit 50, the capstone dungeon, that I would, because if the completion or kill time is going to be similar, then may as well just do a little bit higher tier for the extra golden items, right? 15%, I think that's all it is for items. Now the next bit is interesting, and I think a lot of people are not happy about it. I'm actually quite okay again. I mean, you know, I tell you why I'm quite okay with it. So the it's the XP, Whisper, and Health Tide. So let's just talk about it in a more holistic manner. So the XP from monster is going to come down quite a lot. It's really a lot, and it's going to affect the power leveling people as well, because you know, you can't just ask someone to sit at the entrance of the dungeon, you kill the monster, they earn the XP, they keep leveling up. So that doesn't kind of work anymore, which is fine. I don't really, you know, have a lot of unhappiness about that. I mean, I usually just solo my way to the level cap, if I may. If I have friends who play together, yeah, we'll play together. Now, but the XP from monsters is being dropped significantly. Then I think that, I mean, the way I see it is that the emphasis is really on not killing monster per se, but really completing the quest and, you know, dungeon and so on. So perhaps just the entire change in the way we approach the experience points, because I mean, you know that there are some XP that you earn from monster, but completing dungeon or completing a quest, completing some of side quests reward XP as well, right? So those are still there. Those are still there. So I have to play and see if this is going to affect me a great deal. But since I'm someone who more into completing the objective rather than just mindlessly killing a lot of monster for XP. So I'm not that affected by it, but I'll have to see whether it really slow things down a lot. But the approach for probably would be I just skip everything in a dungeon if I can, unless I see an elite card pack, because they can't buff the elite drop as well. So it's just different way of playing, I guess, you know, because there's no point killing monster anymore. The XP is not kind of rewarding. Now, then come the next bit that I need to talk together, the Health Tide and Whisper. So there's a pretty big, I would say, nerf on the reward as Health Tide, because the risk is going up while the reward is coming down in a sense. So they do a +3 level instead of +2. So it makes Health Tide a little bit harder to take them down. So, and also the requirement for mysterious chests, which a lot of people are getting it these days. I mean, what's the point of getting a 75 or 125 chest when spending 175 and get a mysterious chest that get like even up to 4 legendary items or you know, really good items? What's the point in trying to open the 75, which is a yellow item inside, right? So I get it. I mean, you know, I think that's the problem of the design, is that Health Tide, to me, before the patch, is a lot easier than a Nightmare Dungeon of the level. I mean, if I'm going to do a Nightmare Dungeon of +1 to +2, I find it a little bit challenging at my 70 odd level. But the same character going to Health Tide, I find it that's so easy. So what's the point of even doing a Nightmare Dungeon, right? And that's why they buffed the Nightmare Dungeon as well. And also Whispers as well. It's like, what's the point of doing Whisper? The reward sucks. The XP is I want. I mean, I have to go out of the way to do something, but actually it's quite fun. Whisper kind of added some variety to Health Tide. Health Tide, to me, is kind of mindless. You just keep seeing anything, you just take them down with Elite Pack. You just shuttle from event to event, right? So you run from one outdoor event to another outdoor event to another outdoor event, and after that, in between, you see any elite, you kill them, you take them down. But what's the point? I mean, there's no there's no kind of variety to it, just pure body counts, right? So I never liked Hell Tie, but it's the best kind of reward. It's easy as well. +2 is compared to a +2 Nightmare Dungeon. I'd rather do a Hell Tie. And with the players that is going around me, I can collect a lot of those cinders as well. I don't have to like literally kill everything myself. So I always like Hell Tie, but it's just too good to be true, because I mean, just too good. In a sense that I play nothing but Hell Tie. Basically, in between, I don't even want to play anything else but Hell Tie, because it's most rewarding. And it's not healthy, because I'll get burned. Actually, I get burned out from a Hell Tie. Now, the chest as well is kind of strange, because what's the point of opening a normal chest when a mysterious chest, and it's not that mysterious anymore, anybody can go into helltie.com and know where are the location of the chest, right? And you can just pay a little bit more cinder, you get way more kind of like items and much better quality. So what's the point of the rest of the chest? Why not everybody go mysterious chest where it is not that mysterious anymore? So yeah, I mean, definitely is I don't get it, but it is what it is. So, but now with the change, Hell Tie require 250 cinder to open a mysterious chest rather than 175. So now you have to think, wow, do I really want to spend that much in a mysterious chest? And before I can do like 4 or 5 chests, or even 6 if I'm fast and lucky. But now, with the cinder that is going to probably drop slower because the mobs are of a higher level, I may only end up getting 2 or 3 chests per run. But then, check this out. I mean, I'm not that upset about it, because look, I've opened so many Hell Tie chests, right? How many upgrades do I really see? These are just gold to me. It's just money, that's all. I don't really see a lot of really good upgrades. The fundamental problem with the game, in my opinion, it's not about Hell Tie or not Hell Tie or reward. It's just that you spend so much time looking through the yellow and the legendary. And the yellow, most of them is just gold for selling. You don't even salvage them anymore at high level. The legendary is just, again, gold or aspect if they are in a really good kind of like affix that you can't find it in codex, or the affixes that has a really high kind of tier, high range that is better than your codex. So to me, whether I get like a 4 chest or 2 chests or 3 chests, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to sweat too much about it. I mean, I'm not going to cry over it for sure. But I'm happy that Whisper get a buff, so the XP is significantly increased. So there's more kind of incentive to do it. And if the Hell Tie and the Whisper happen at the same zone, then I'll be focusing more onto the Whisper rather than just running from event to event, which is what I do, because I could get more XP from completing the Whisper. So yeah, I think it's a healthy change for a long run, because I don't want to get burned out by doing kind of like Hell Tie all the time and just checking my timer. My whole game is just around the timer. So now if I log in, Hell Tie is not up, it's fine. I can play some Whisper, I can play some Nightmare Dungeon. So I think all is well. Now in the I can't comment on other classes on the balance part of it. On the Druid, overall is a buff to me. I mean, I don't really see like, oh no, that got nerfed or what. I think overall it's kind of fine. I'm actually quite happy with the overall Druid kind of like balancing. I think it's quite nice. Can't comment on the rest. Sorcerer. And the last bit is about item affixes. So so again, it's a whole balancing act. Like I said, is the itemization kind of philosophy only relevant to that season, and I only play the season, so it doesn't really affect me too much. You tell me the rule of the game before the season start, I go for the rule of the game, I have fun with it, and I leave the season, I delete the character, or I just leave it aside. So to me, I'm fine. It's just to know the rule of the game. So now they do a whole bunch of balancing. they kind of like shift a lot of attention more to the offensive stats rather than the defensive. So I think from an item budget point of view, they put more budget onto offensive rather than defensive. I kind of get it, because at the end game, some of this build can be rather tanky. maybe Blizzard has been watching all this Lilith kind of like Umber Lilith kind of kill video and found that, how come some of these characters are so tanky, so they kind of nerf the the defensive of it. I don't know, but I think, yeah, what it means is that perhaps we all have to pay more attention to the defensive stats instead, to compensate a little bit. So no big deal. Next thing is the I think they're going to they are trimming down on the vulnerability and crit hit damage. Those budget come down, but then the budget being allocated to the rest of the stats. So in the past, you kind of like look at the 5 or 6 bucket of damage, and a lot of things are loaded onto the vulnerability as well as the crit hit damage. Now you have to think about, well, you could do that. You could also like cooldown reduction is one as well, right? People feel really mandatory to put a lot of cooldown reduction because this game has a lot of cooldown power as well. So the shorter the cooldown, the better. But they want to make it more expensive to pay for these fixes, to make it more premium. So that would mean that if you are currently relying a lot on cooldown reduction, crit hit damage, and vulnerability, you're going to get hit the most because that's how it is. But if you roll a new season character and everybody try to rethink and redo things, maybe the rest of the stats, maybe flat damage, those are cheaper kind of like damage. Maybe it's good to grab a bunch as well. Overall, maybe the character will be less strong compared to the pre-season one, but with the kind of like Malignant Heart or whatever you call it, those mechanisms with an extra dam, perhaps your character will also get stronger. So it kind of compensates a little bit. I kind of get it. So let's see. I am with an open mind, of course. I always like the new challenges. And look, I mean, the whole point of season is just to kind of shake up the game a little bit. It probably won't be as crazy as we thought that it would be, but who knows, right? I mean, this community is very smart. For maybe very soon someone will figure out something very broken about the game that is going to, like, everybody's doing it. By the time you go into the mid-season, who knows, even before that, right? So I will definitely roll a druid in the upcoming season 1 in just maybe one day or less than that to go. And my clan is Red Riding Hood, the same clan that I've been playing since Marvel Heroes as well as Diablo 3, so feel free to join if you like to play together with me or with my friends as well. So I do drop your comment below. I mean, I hope I don't offend anybody by saying that this patch is not that bad, because to me, as a casual player, it's really not that bad. Alright, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in season 1. Bye.